Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be having a look at Aio Emoji, a £1,300 Footsites bot. I believe it's also called 𝙎𝙋𝙊𝙍𝙎 sometimes. I'm not too sure, but this is Aio Emoji. That is what the bot is called. It is an incredible bot, but for £1,300, is it worth it? This is a question a lot of people want to know, so I'm going to take you through the bot today, and I'm just going to basically show you everything. This bot is super weird. It's got a really weird theme with emojis. I'm not sure if it's cool or too much, but we're going to talk about that. So just to talk about this bot quickly, this is the launcher, and you can see there's a GUI and CLI. I'll explain that later, but it's basically you have both of them, and then you also have a launcher. You don't need to use a launcher. It's just, I guess it's quite cool to have them laid out on here, and you can also see if they need updates here. They've got very active support, and it is, in the UK, it's potentially one of the best Footlocker EU kind of old regions bot. But basically, let's just jump into it, and let's open up the GUI to start. So this launcher is, I mean, really pointless. You've got the Twitter, Instagram, website, terms of service down there. If there's any updates, they'll pop here, but we're just going to press start. There is also a desktop icon that you could use, but, you know, we might as well use the launcher if we're doing a kind of review video. So this is where you would make your tasks. This is the dashboard for the GUI. Now, fun fact, the GUI can't actually run tasks. This is a CLI bot, but you do have a GUI to create your tasks in and profiles, which is really nice, which is honestly what I would want in a bot. You make them in a nice interface and you can run them in a CLI interface, which I think is perfect. So to create a task, you just press create task up here, and you can see all of the retailers here. So you can see you have all the US Footsites here, Canada, and then you go into the new regions, old regions, and you even have SG, all those, and I believe there's also, yeah, Australia. So it's pretty much, it's the ultimate Footsites bot, right? It just does Footsites. Now, some people may think this is a bit limiting because most bots, especially kind of when you look at the US side, they're not just Footsites. They might do Shopify like Cyber. I mean, Cyber does pretty much everything. But this is very limited on just Footsites. Might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Again, usually this bot you can rent out, you can rent it. I would recommend doing that before you buy a bot, just so you can get a kind of a grip of it. But also, if you do own this bot, you should also rent it out, you know, when you can't run, or run slots, definitely. This bot can definitely make you income on other sites that you might not be able to usually. So if you're in the US, you can rent it out to someone like me in the EU on a release. That would be a good idea. So let's say we were running Footlocker USA. You can see you can put in the SKU. You can change the mode here. I think you'd stick to normal on a drop. You can select all the profiles. You can see I have quite a few there. Proxies, I have all my proxies there. You then have monitor delay, and then you can have sizes. So this is quite cool. You can just do like random GS, random men's, random women's. It's quite good to have that option, and also amount of tasks. So if I go to Footlocker UK, because that is what I would normally be running, you can have SKU. You can use size SKUs. That's totally fine. Mode, again, you have normal, safe, or restock. You'll be using normal. You then have profiles, all that there. Proxies, monitor delays, and then sizes. Now, normally you use custom size, and then you put them in here, so you can have 6, 6.5, 7. That's totally fine. You can then have configure task. So this is where you have use alternative payment, skip stock endpoint, load data mode, and load homepage. This can just give you an idea of, you know, the different things. However, they tell you what to run in the Discord in their guide, and I believe for the best kind of result, it is skip stock endpoint. That's what you're meant to have like 90% of your tasks on. And you can also have checkout ACO, you'd want that on. And then you can have your task groups and then the amount of tasks. Let's actually create a task though. So let's just go to, you know, configure task. Let's set that to low data mode, why not? And let's set a profile and let's do size 4. There we go. So that is as simple as it is to create a task. So another cool thing you can do in creating tasks is if you just set it to one profile, you can actually change the amount of tasks you have. So instead of, for example, on Cyber, you kind of every task is in each icon on the screen. On this, you can have 200 tasks just as one icon, which is obviously kind of much nicer, right? You can see that there's 200 tasks there, but it's just one thing, so it's much easier to run. However, when using CLI, you will need to put this in a task group because CLI can only run, it can do all or task groups. So you do need to know how to use task groups. Get all of them set up. It's a bit of pain, it's a bit of a faff at the start, but once it's set up and you're good to go. Moving down here, you can go to profiles. Now again, most of this will be blurred out, but this is just where you set up profiles. Very, very simple stuff. Moving down from there, you have proxies. Again, super simple stuff. To create a proxy list, you press create proxies, put in the list, put in the proxies, and then create proxy. Now, moving down into settings. Now, as you can see, when using Footsites, you have to solve something called data dome, and this is a captcha that needs to be solved. Now, I do not recommend solving this on your computer manually, because honestly, with Footlocker, you're running thousands of tasks. It's not worth it. It's going to ruin your Gmail score. Don't do that. What I recommend you do is use Captcha. Now, Captcha, in my opinion, is the best captcha solver. A lot of the time on releases, other providers that you may see do actually go down. This is something that I've even seen on Offspring drops. Other providers genuinely go down due to amount of traffic. However, Captcha, in my opinion, are the most reliable. So yeah, I recommend using Captcha for Footsites. I don't think you can connect AYCD to this. So yeah, just chuck in a Captcha key, set your reCAPTCHA service to Captcha, and you will be good. You can press save changes and get all that set up. You also can use CapMonster or Resolve, and the webhook is there. If you're interested in using Captcha, I do have a link in the description that you can use. But yeah, a lot of people will vouch for Captcha. I use it in all my bots. I just thought I should give them a bit of a shout out. But yeah, they've got very simple settings. Once you've got your Captcha key in and Discord webhook, you are good to go. You can, I mean, you're pretty much done in the GUI, right? I mean, if you keep on looking here, similar to the launcher, Twitter, Instagram, website, we have documentation here, which is their written guide. Very compact, and in terms of service, it's quite a simple bot to run. As I'm sure you can see, there really is, again, there's not much to talk about, right? It's a simple bot. Now, as always with profiles on Footlocker, you do need to make sure they are set up correctly. So for example, in new regions and old regions, you sometimes might need to put your house number in address too. Just check up the guide. They'll say that in the specific. So in the Discord, they'll have a guide that just says how to do that, all that. But just double check that, because you can easily get caught out and it just won't work. So you need to make sure you do that. So now I'm going to close this and we are going to go into the CLI. So in the launcher, I'm just going to press start. There we go, and this is Aio Emoji CLI. Now, as you can see, the task groups here, you have a nice Aio Emoji written in kind of $signs, which is quite nice. And then you can select your task group to do that. It's done on arrow keys that you can press up and down, and you can move between them. So as you can see, you select the task group to start your task. So this is why you need to get to grips with task groups and set them all up, because you need to start all, or if you want to start them kind of individually, you need to put them each in their individual task group. I think this could be improved, where you can almost just select the tasks, because in GUI you can like have 200 tasks as a task. I don't think it'll be that hard, but a task group makes sense. Again, it's just a little bit more work for the user, but I mean, I think it's fine. At the top here, you can see the version we're on. Now, how many we have in queue, how many have carted, and how many successful, as well as how many have declined. Again, simple analytics. This is on pretty much every CLI bot. I've pretty much shown you everything about this bot, but I just wanted to talk to you about it a bit more, about where the future of Aio Emoji is going, because I want to know. So one thing I found in the Discord is they have a release channels, and they're always giving kind of constant updates on Footlocker, how many people are checking out, what's doing best, any tips. That's very helpful, and it's the same with their support. They do a really, really good support that you sometimes don't see in other bots. Normally, the more expensive bots do have the better support, and you can definitely see that here. But for £1,300, is an all Footsites bot worth it? Because right now, Aio Emoji is absolutely destroying Footlocker UK, and Footlocker UK is an old region. And old regions are actually currently being replaced slowly. Over the next few months, they will be replaced by new regions. So will this bot decrease in value if essentially its best site, which is Footlocker UK, if it's going to change? I mean, potentially this bot could lose a lot of its value if it doesn't keep up and adapt. Now, it does do all right on new regions, but it's not at the same level. So Aio Emoji, I think it has the potential to lose value, in all honesty. I mean, £1,300 is an expensive price for a bot. But saying that, the fact it supports Footsites and it is consistent on Footsites, and the fact that it's also consistent on Footlocker UK, overall, I do not believe this bot will lose too much value. They are the Footsites expert. I think they'll easily be able to adapt when it does go all new regions. I think it might take a few months to fully get back to the levels they're at right now, maybe. But I do think they will get back there. Aio Emoji is very good right now. So if you just want something right now that can bot Footlocker UK, and in all honesty, we don't know when Footlocker UK is going to switch. So it might not be a bad bot just to buy right now. If you have £1,300 and need the best Footlocker UK bot, it's there, and it's a good option. It is, because it's one of the best. It's cheaper than Cyber as well. Cyber is, I mean, Aio Emoji and Cyber are the kind of old region bots that are doing the best. It's a lot cheaper than Cyber, and it's up there. Now, would I buy it myself? It's hard to say. Spending that much money on a Footsites bot, I wouldn't use that myself. However, I would see, as I mentioned earlier, the potential in renting that out to people that could definitely be something that I would look towards. Again, people in the US are going to be wanting this, people in the UK, EU. It's such an easy bot to use. I mean, if you're even thinking of renting a bot for Footlocker, have a look at this. On data usage, it's not too bad. I would say it's about medium. But again, Footlocker, it's a data monster. Everyone says, oh, that has low data mode. This has low data mode. No one really knows. Polaris is the only bot I can personally vouch for and say that at one point had crazy low data mode. However, that is not the case anymore. And it's the same with Aio Emoji, really. I think even their low data mode isn't the best, and it's not the most effective. So you don't want to be using that. I think with Footlocker, you just have to bite the bullet, buy the proxies to get the success. So that's really my opinion on Aio Emoji. You run the bot in CLI, it's got a GUI and a launcher, it's an emoji theme. Does it have the potential to go down in value? Yes. Does it have the potential to go up in value? Yes. Again, with these types of bots, we really don't know. I'm excited to see where this bot will be when Footlocker UK turns to a new region. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this video, be sure to like and comment down below any of the bots you want to see me kind of go over and see my opinions on, because I think there's a lot of bots that, you know, where they'll be in 6 months, it will be very, very interesting. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you in another video.